Hello, everyone. Welcome to Building the World We Want. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James.
And James is my sidekick here. I'm the host of this program. So today I'm going to talk about something which I think is affecting us all. And I'm talking about it because I'm trying to figure it out myself about what to do. So it's the topic is let's shut out the noise together and get really reconnected to ourselves. Now, what do I mean about shutting out the noise? Well, it seems like in this age, there's constant noise. And by noise, I mean information, opinions, uh, podcasts, family, friends, teachers, the internet, Google, everybody has at least two or three opinions on absolutely everything. And there was a time which I remember well, and I'm sure James remembers it well as well, when it wasn't like that, where you wanted to know something and you went and you looked at the Encyclopedia Britannica, and that was, of course, published 2 years before you ever opened it. So there was nothing like new news or new opinions. And then you heard maybe when we started out, it was the radio. You would hear things on the radio, and then you saw things on television, the news, or you had a newspaper that came once a day, or there was two editions. And if you wanted to know something, you were pretty much out of luck. You didn't have access. And can you imagine if we were in the 19th century and you're out in the middle of nowhere and the Pony Express comes by every 6 months and tells you, oh yeah, there's a war. And it's not like that anymore. It's like, and it isn't just the news, it's every darned thing in our lives. James and I are trying to figure out what to do about our car. So we have a lease on our car, and it's going to be up in about 2.5 months. And we have to decide whether to buy the car or let it go. And then if we let it go, then what are we going to do? And then should we buy another car, or should we lease another car, or should we this, or should we that? We're in our 80s now. Are we even going to be driving? Are we going to be alive? So there's a lot of things. So
That's especially hard to plan on.
that is very hard to plan. So then you go and you read things on the internet. Oh, the there's a crisis in the auto industry. They're giving away cars. And you're saying, oh my God, I've got to get a car now because now they're giving them away. Maybe they won't be giving them away next month. Found out, by the way, just like maybe an hour before our show tonight, that there's a lot of lying, that the discounts are not very big, that the cost of cars is actually going up. But what they're doing is giving out credit to people on terrible terms. And people are paying through the nose, and poor people are going to suffer. So and then you say, oh my God, then I shouldn't buy a car. But should I buy a car? But are there going to be self-driving cars in 2 years? If we buy a car now, when we really need it, will we have a self-driving car? Oh, I look up self-driving cars. Oh, they're going to be $150,000 to $200,000 a really good self-driving. I mean, it's like, and then you read Motor Trend magazine and Edmunds and the Consumer Reports. And by the time you get, and then there are 1,000 videos about everything. And it's lies, deception, exaggeration. And, you're being manipulated because people want to have a certain impact. Now, it's not just about something like that. Let's say there is a war in Iran, which is called now an excursion. like you have an excursion to the country. So I guess you have an excursion to bombing children. So you have something like that. Now, let's say you are horrified, you're opposed. So you check on the news. And of course, you're going to go to the people who agree with you. Are you going to go to people who are saying the opposite? So let's say you go to the people who agree with you, this is terrible. Now they're saying it's not $1 billion a day, it's several $1 billion a day that is costing us. And therefore, we have no money for healthcare. We have no money for food stamps. I know they're not called food stamps anymore, SNAP benefits, whatever. And so you go to your favorite people because you know what they're going to say. You know they're going to agree with you. You're certainly not going to go to people who don't agree with you. And they tell you all these terrible things. And their headlines are even worse because they want you to click on it and think that this is the latest breaking news that you cannot live without. And you're feeling hysterical because now you're getting bombarded with negative messages about what's happening in the country. And I'm not even saying that they're lying, but there is a certain uh, anger and hysteria and all of that is in there, and you're listening, and or let's say you're on the other side and you want to think that Donald Trump is right, and you listen to him standing there lying 50,000 times a minute, and you never want to know that the man is lying. And those of us on the other side don't want to know that maybe there might have been some reason, which in this case I don't think there is. But the point is, we're getting revved up all the time. And then you add to that what your mother thinks you should be doing with your life, or what your girlfriend or your husband or your wife, certainly your wife, always has an opinion about what you're doing.
I'll agree with that.
Your mate, your partner in life, whatever it is. And you're getting bombarded with opinions, and so many of them contradict each other. In fact, it's almost worse if they don't, because then you're never hearing the other side. If you only hear one side, you have a very one-sided view of the world, and that's not exactly wise. And by the end of the day, you're shattered. At least I am.
Stressed out.
Stressed out. I call that let's shut out the noise, because it's noise. And the more noise you're absorbing, the more you become addicted to it. I'm sure you've all had this experience. Like the more news you read, the more you get, oh my God, so what's happening now? What's happening now? And so whether you're buying a car or you're trying to figure out whether or not to move, or what your career should be, or whether you should get married, or should women live alone because they won't be oppressed, or, oh, we have a good evening from Catalina. She said, this topic is so timely. Oh, I'm so glad, Catalina, because it's timely for me. The reason that I came up with this topic tonight is that I am having trouble shutting out the noise. And so for hours, I was trying to think, well, what's the show going to be about? What's my topic? What am I going to talk about tonight? And I don't like to just repeat all the things that other people are saying, that, you can watch 50 million other people talking about these things, bringing you up to date with the news and all that. You don't need that. And there's enough political opinions. And so Elizabeth said, I agree. Good timing. I'm so glad. So glad. Please give us your comments, by the way, if you're on our public Facebook page, facebook.com/Granny Rocks On, because my personal Facebook page, the comments don't show up. And or if you're on our YouTube channel, please feel free to comment. So when I was feeling totally freaked out today, I'm thinking, well, see, as long as I'm obsessing about the car, then I'm not obsessing about the government and whatever stupidity they're doing now. And that's hurting everybody. That's getting me all riled up, or the Epstein files or whatever. So now I can obsess about something else, and how that's very effective because it does get my mind off this. But now I've got all this noise coming at me about that. And I'm too insecure to not constantly look for answers because what do I know? I don't know anything about cars. I mean, how do you know? And you find the perfect car and you think it's, oh my God, this is it. And then you discover that 10% of these cars break down in the middle of the road. And Todd said, hi, Beth and James. Hi, Todd. So these comments are coming in a little late for some reason, but they are coming and we're so happy to have you. So what I'm saying is I felt completely freaked out and I sat down and started to play music. I'm a musician. So I went to my keyboard. Now, usually my keyboard makes me anxious because there are problems that I have to, but no, I decided to make it very simple, that I wasn't going to try anything challenging. I was just going to do something really, really simple. And I found myself going, and then I stuck my head outside and said something to the blue jays that were bouncing around at the rain. And I went, but I had to fight not to go back to the noise. That pull is so strong. I said, oh, yeah, I relaxed for a few minutes, but I could feel that pull. And in that time that I relaxed, I realized that this was my topic. And I thought, what the heck am I going to say? I'm as bad as anybody.
At least you found some solutions.
Well, at least temporarily, I found solutions. And I think it's the approach. It's to recognize that one of the things that is causing us stress is an overload of contradictory information or enraging information. Like the Trump supporters feel like, oh, the poor man is being persecuted. So they're in a rage too. And there's this collective rage, this collective hysteria that you tap into. And even the people who say very good, insightful commentary, they want you to build up their YouTube channel. I want you to build up our YouTube channel, right? But the way they do it is by putting out these provocative titles and tell you that this is the latest, greatest, breaking, whatever. And so in thinking about that, I said, I have got to get a grip. But I can't just get a grip on myself. I need to get a grip with you, with other people who are going through the same thing. That can we all agree that we are being bombarded by a ton of information, disinformation, AI, manipulation, people who are trying to get us to buy something or not buy something or believe something or not believe something, and that we feel like we're being pulled back and forth. And here it is, we're trying to become informed, but often we become either more confused or more hardlined in some position without ever stopping and thinking. And so, or checking out the other side. So my insane desire to get some good news out of this world, it keeps me going back, looking for, well, today, am I going to hear that the war is over? Well, I understand that Trump has said that we won the war. Of course, there's ships burning in the Gulf of Hormuz because the Iranians are controlling it. Todd says, boy, is that true. Ever since deregulation during the Reagan administration, this has been the trend of more. And are you talking, Todd, about, oh, news and information are now a profit center where they weren't considered that before? I know, even YouTube, right? YouTube, monetize your video. You're going to get a half of a nickel every time you get 1,000 views. And of course, we have to get 1,000 views so that we can get our nickel. Amy says, I used to listen to news while driving, now only rarely. That is a really good idea, Amy. We have to keep our wits about us when we're driving. More than enough sneaks through on my phone on Facebook feed page. And that is absolutely, if I may say so, the worst place to get your news is from Facebook, because it's everybody is passing on and sharing misinformation, and then it becomes a mountain of misinformation. And it's hard, maybe you can do it or you do it, but it's hard to actually vet every piece of crap that is coming at us to find out who said it, who was, and you want to believe that the news is objective and is right and true. Well, maybe not. But what we get from our friend on Facebook might be some AI, you know? So anyway, what I was feeling when I was, thank you, by the way, for the comments. That's great. Uh, when I was sitting and playing my keyboard, and then I went over and I played my piano. I realized this was the topic. And I also realized what the essence of the problem is, which is that when we are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, it is extremely difficult to be centered in ourselves. And so, as an example, so after I calmed down by playing music, and it may not be, your thing may not be playing music, or it may be listening to music, or it may be going out to nature, or having or doing a run, or dancing, or whatever it is. Get out of the sphere and center yourself. I mean, this is the best I could come up with. Amy says, I only believe very few news sources, not Facebook. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I used to believe CBS, but not anymore, right?
I used to believe CNN until it got taken over by the right wing.
So when I say, take a moment to go inside yourself and get centered. So, for example, I'm just using the car thing as as an example. After all of that noise, and I played some music, I said, well, what do I really feel? Should we rent? Should we lease? Should we buy? Should we just take Ubers? What should we do? And so then I asked myself, well, how much longer do I really believe that James would safely be driving? I would not be safely driving now. So that I don't even count there. So I said, okay, well, maybe 3 years. Okay. Now, I don't know that that's true. James might safely drive till he's 90. He's going to be 82 in May. Happy birthday, James, in advance. But, I don't think he's going to make it driving past 90. And he might not make it till 90 because he has some cognitive issues. But it's not just that. It's like your eyesight goes, your hearing, is a little bit impaired. They gave me a driver's license now for another 8 years. I'm 81 years old. I'm good to go until I'm 89. Right. But I have to exercise a little judgment. And I can't wait for self-driving cars. That's the answer. We'll all be happy when we have self-driving cars that can take us to the doctor and take us to the coast and all that. But in the meantime, so what we're thinking is, okay, we're taking a chance. We could take a chance on a 3-year lease, because then in 3 years we could let the car go, even though it's cost a lot of money to do that. But we wouldn't be stuck with anything. And maybe by that time, we'll have self-driving cars, or maybe in 3 years, we won't be driving. We'll be into Uber. Or maybe in 3 years, we'll go out and do another stupid thing like we often do. So what I'm saying is, this is not about cars, and you may disagree with everything I'm saying. But the point is, as this is an example, I said, well, what do we feel is, what do we need? And I even talked to James about, why don't we give up the car and just take Uber? It would cost less money. And I was looking at all but I understand why we would like to have a car, but we're trying to look honestly at ourselves. And I think a lot of times we're looking outside for answers and stimulation and everything because we can't bear to be quiet and to get inside and connect to ourselves and look at our own reality and what we are truly feeling.
I have another idea that might be helpful. I find it very helpful for me is to stop and do a little power nap for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes. And man, when I do that, I'm like a new man when I get up.
Oh, well, you need to do that more often. So that's another example. Maybe other people can put in the comment the magic things that they can do. I mean, for me, it's nature and music and cuddling with James. And sometimes I'm really exhausted and need to do that power nap. And then I have to watch myself like a hawk because what am I afraid of feeling and thinking that's making me run around like a crazy lady, or as we used to say, a chicken without a head, trying to get answers frantically as though somebody else really knows, like they know. Do they really know? James, you're yawning again. What's going on? I'm confronting James. When he starts yawning when I'm talking, there's a reason. So what are you escaping, James?
Reality.
Yeah. You know, where is the war going to go in the next hour if I don't read the latest horror? You know, what's going to change?
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, maybe something will change, but will it make a difference if I know it? Like, I really need to know absolutely everything at all times. So, anyone else like to share a suggestion as to what they do? But see, the trick in all of this is connecting to ourselves and realize how much we are running from something when we're frantically grabbing up as much noise as we possibly can.
Another one is meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking time to just be quiet, be still, be focused, and the world goes away and feel at peace.
Yeah, some people can meditate when they're hysterical. Other people cannot do that. But so then for them, maybe something more active. So that's a great suggestion.
Working out.
So what I'd like us to do right now, if you're a game, guys, we have a few more minutes. Let's use them. Let's all get very quiet. And I want you to think about something that maybe has been plaguing you, that you're looking for an answer. Should I run for office? You know, whatever. Uh, oh, Catalina said, I journal and or make art. And those are really good ideas, very good ideas. So let's right now all together think about, just be aware of something that's been on your mind and then stop, if possible, stop thinking about it. But when I say stop thinking about it, go inside and just feel, what is it that you're feeling when you're thinking about this topic? And when you're ready, please put a note in the chat. Or James, you can speak, of course.
Another thing that comes to me is doing a chi generating activity.
No, honey, I'm not asking you what to do. I'm asking, what are you feeling?
Oh, what am I feeling?
Right? Somehow you've managed to run away from the topic. What I'm saying is something that you've been thinking about, that you've got a lot of noise around, and just stop thinking about it, but go inside and ask yourself, what are you feeling about this topic? Not easy, huh? Anyone discovered? Oh, goody. Catalina said, I have fear around increasing prices of everything. Yeah. Todd says, tension in my heart area. Yeah. Try to go inside and see what that tension is about, Todd. And Catalina, the fear around increasing prices, I understand that, we're going through the same thing and I'm not raising my rates. But is there something behind that fear of increasing prices? If you go deep into yourself, what would you find? Elizabeth says, when I stop thinking about finances, I feel strapped, frustrated. Strapped about what? Frustrated with what, Elizabeth? I'll tell you that when I stop thinking about the car, or I stop thinking about our government and how dreadful it is, I think I'm feeling the fear of how out of control our lives are as we age, and how little we can control our health, our cognition, our destiny. Okay, Trisha said, I'm homeless, can't afford rent. Oh my. I'm so sorry. That's a lot of upset to try to get past. It's kind of like aging. What are we going to do about it? um, I'm hoping, Trisha. So let's take you for a moment. Is there anything, if you get really quiet and give yourself a big hug, is there anything you can think of that could help you, like living with someone else? Oh, Elizabeth said, strapped about not having the money to get what we need, frustrated because a few people have a ton of money and so many people don't have enough to meet some basic needs, yes, as Trisha was saying. Okay, I understand that. And what do those things, you, Trisha, and Elizabeth talking about, and Catalina talking about prices, um, what is the feeling you have? No. What do you do when you feel upset about those things? Of- Um, I draw. Oh, good for you, Trisha. Good for you. Elizabeth says, I get angry. Karen says, fear of living without electricity, not being strong enough to manage because of age. Yes. Well, maybe you need to move. I've said this to you before. Elizabeth, you getting angry is just more noise. I'm glad that you're drawing, Trisha, because you might feel some peace. If you can't change the situation, and I don't know if you can or you can't, then just doing something creative, nurturing is so good for you to get out of the hysterical feeling. That's great. But sometimes when our minds, when we're more centered, our minds are clear, an idea will come to us. So it's like when the idea came to me, I'm not saying this is like the greatest example, maybe there's a better one, but I kind of gave it to you already. When I said, let's look at how long we think that James is going to be driving and start with that question. That idea came to me only because I stopped listening to everything about what car we should buy and stopped being hysterical. And I said, oh, that's the starting point. That's like, okay, what can I do? And so, guys, what I'm asking you to do is to try to quiet down the noise in your head, because see, this is the problem. All that noise on the outside comes into our heads and we become the noise in our own heads. So Karen, Elizabeth, Trisha, James, Catalina, when you quiet that noise in your head, does something come to you? Trisha says, yes, it's time to sit in silence and meditate. So the message you're getting from inside you is you must be silent and meditate because you are crashing your nervous system. And that will make everything worse. I mean, I'm assuming that that's what that means, Trisha. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Mine is anxiety. I feel anxious about surprising things happening with my mind and my body.
So, what comes to you when you quiet that anxiety?
I feel peace.
Well, then
Do it.
do it. You see, once you have that anxiety, you keep feeding it. See, once you start worrying about
State of the world.
the state of the world or your finances or what should we do, or I'm too sick, or it's my health. I mean, my health is my big thing. I can't get at it. I'm sick. I'm blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then that increases my anxiety, and then that will definitely make my health worse. Oh, Tricia said, yes, you are correct. I'm glad. And by the way, I'm so glad that you wrote in tonight. I think this is the first time I remember you ever sharing with us. And your comments are so welcome, and we hope you come back. And if you're homeless, I don't know how you're getting us, but I'm so glad that you are. Elizabeth said, I have the repeated thought of music and dancing that I should dance. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. See, that's it. We're getting the idea now. What should we do? Sometimes isn't about the external problem, like how can I overthrow the government by myself, Okay, and Brittany said, hi, Brittany. I question my ownership in this chaos. How much is my inner world affecting what is happening in our outer world? Yes. And how much is what's happening in the outer world affecting your inner world, and how much is your inner world affecting how you perceive what's happening in our outer world? It may not be making that happen. Some people believe that. I don't happen to believe that. But what I would agree with is how much is my inner world affecting my perception of what's going on? Is this as fearful as it seems? Karen said, yes, silence always helps calm my mind, and solutions often come to light. Exactly, Karen. So I would love you to do that around this. Should you be living with? Can you live without electricity? And what are you going to do as you're aging? To just be in that place and see what comes to mind. Elizabeth said, I am having repeated thoughts. I forgot a word. I know I understood that.
Yeah,
And so
up here.
I know I
Did that.
reframed it when I said it, Elizabeth, so that, because I understood what you actually meant. So that is so true, guys. If we cannot calm our inner being, we cannot be inspired as to what to do. I am not against gathering information. It's good. I mean, and read this and read that and listen to this and ask for advice and all of that. Don't come to conclusions right away as you gather information. And then when you let it settle, check in with yourself, because ultimately we have to make decisions about our lives, and we don't want to be frantic when we're doing it. So right now I'm going to transmit some divine energy, some what we call chi energy, life force, to all of us who are going through so much right now. And let's all breathe together. Say, oh, we're in this together. Trisha says, yes, I'm new. I ask to see divine's perspective. I find solar lights and I have a government phone. Good for you. Just got diagnosed with MS. Oh, that's multiple sclerosis. I just want to be peaceful and happy. Oh my God. Trisha, in a way, it's a relief to get a diagnosis. I remember when I was 72 years old, I finally got a diagnosis of why I've been sick my whole life. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and a lot of things that go with it. And it was sad. I cried because it's not something you want to have. But on the other hand, I finally had some answers, like what is wrong with me, or why do I have so many issues? Uh, and I would just want to be peaceful and happy. That is so great. That is so great. And it seems to me like you're already finding ways to manage. And we are here to support you to be peaceful and happy. And as we all have to cope with the realities, the deck that we've been given, but we don't have to make it worse by getting frantic and bringing the chaos inside. Trisha said, I found you all. Oh, we love it. And Trisha, we have another program tomorrow night. It's all music. It's called Music for Our Times, and it's at 7 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube and Facebook. And James and I, we are the Kindred Spirits Band, and we improvise almost all only, but we do. James does some, he sings, I play the piano. And we try to play music that will correspond to how we're all feeling, that is authentic, that it's all original. It's not supposed to be commercial or make any money for us. We just want to share music, and we try to support people and give everyone a lift. And that's a wonderful thing to do if you tune into Music for Our Times, which is always free on YouTube and Facebook. Sometimes you'll find that you can calm down by listening to us playing music. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we only play peaceful stuff. Sometimes we have to express the anguish and the anger and the upset, and then we can be calm. So I think we are coming to the close. Please give this a like or a love on Facebook and a thumbs up on YouTube, and subscribe to our channel, Trisha. Follow us on Facebook. You're on Facebook. Or subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and keep coming back. We're Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. We do Building the World We Want. And we love meeting new people, new kindred spirits. And then we have on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have Music for Our Times. And here is Your Old Mang. I have scary areas also, Todd. This is all very good. Oh, thank you. What did Todd say? I'm going to go back because I can't
He
remember.
feels tension in his
Tension in
heart.
his heart area. Oh, yeah. I have scary areas also. This is all very good. I'm so glad that you also joined us. Your old mango?
Your old man G.
Oh, your old man, G. Hi, Beth, he says. Oh, well, hi, old man G. Is that, are you a relative of Kenny G? Anyway, we are just so delighted to have welcomed so many new people tonight. I guess Karen says, thanks for this support tonight, Beth and James. Much love. Thank you for
Same
your
to you, Karen.
continued support. Karen has been with us for years. Trisha Sproul. Dancing Music 7 on YouTube. I don't know what Music 7 is, but I'm so glad that you can dance. When I can dance, I love it. Gets me out of my head and into my body. And this is it. Into our bodies, into our souls, into ourselves. Hey, we can do this and we can do this together. I want to really thank all of you for the incredible support that we've gotten tonight. We are building the world we want, right? And old Meng said, I am not, but Kenny is a real inspiration regardless of. He was talking about Kenny Chi. And oh, your program. Oh, our program helps you, or is that related to dancing music? I think she must mean that our program helps. I am so glad. That's really, the thing that helps me most in the world is feeling like I'm helping somebody. And tonight I was just being so very honest about what a mess I am. So I'm glad that that rang a bell. And let's be patient with ourselves. We are living through very, very difficult times. So here's more chi. And if you're interested in what we've done, you can go to our YouTube channel. And oh, she said, yes, your program helps. I'm so glad. On our YouTube channel, we have playlists. I've got thousands of
The
videos.
channel is called Beth Green TV.
Yeah, at Beth Green TV. That's a little better than Facebook because Facebook kills your streams after a while. So yeah, at Beth Green TV, all one word, and that's green without an E. And you can find years and years and years of programming all free. And music too, tons of music that we've put on the internet, music that lifts us up and calms us down. So this has been great. Really, this has been the most conversation we've ever had. And I hope that you guys come back and that you say hi tomorrow night on our music program and also next Wednesday. So until then, lots of love to you. And I'm going to put on that going out music that